Why should litigants in person be allowed at all? Why should a person be allowed to appear in court without a lawyer? It's assumed it's some God-given right or Magna Charta or whatever. But why? Courts are expensive. Judges are expensive. Court time is highly prized. Litigants in person clog up the system. One study showed that a court could get through 8 times as much work where both parties were represented as compared with where neither party was represented. It results in injustice. Family cases now have seen a huge rise in litigants in person or unrepresented parties, with judges having to make decisions on the future of children, very important matters, without having people who are trained to put the facts and the matters across properly. You can't use a hospital to operate on yourself. You can't march into an operating theatre and say, well, I want to use this and I want to use that. Mackenzie Friends, for those of you watching who are not lawyers, these are people who can help someone in court when they haven't got a lawyer. But that's turned from going along to be a friend, as the name suggests, to a paid industry in its own right, where people can effectively appear in court for money, who are not trained, not disciplined, not insured, and know nothing about court procedures. And in some cases, there have been criminals appearing for pay in court. Well, imagine going along to a hospital and saying, well, of course I can't operate on myself, don't be stupid, but my friend here will. So can we have all of the equipment, please, and the operating theatre and everything, so that my friend can operate on me? It makes no sense at all. You can't drive a car without a license and without being trained, but you can use the court facilities. What's it all about? Why on earth should anyone be allowed to appear in court without a lawyer? Now, you may say, well, lawyers cost money. Well, funny enough, so does the National Health Service. You pay for it in your taxes. So does every service that we use. Should people be able to try and resolve matters before court without a lawyer? Well, yes, of course they should. Just as you might try and take a couple of aspirin to cure your problem and then realise it's not going away. No problem with that at all. No problem. But when it comes to actually going to court, it should be compulsory to have a lawyer, in my view. And the fact that people are appearing in court without lawyers is doing great damage, just as people driving around without having passed their driving test would cause damage. Now, you might say, well, that's okay if you're choosing to bring a claim, but what if you're the defendant? Someone else has brought the claim against you. Well, that's a fair point. And I would have at court people, qualified lawyers, assigned and available to assist people in that position. I would also massively increase legal aid so that people who can't afford it have access to a lawyer. And I would still keep the rule that if you win at court, you get your costs from the other side, so that if you're a defendant and you're wrongly sued and you have a lawyer, as you should have, then you'll get your money back. So none of that changes at all. I suspect there'll be some of you watching who don't agree with this, so it's a blog. I hate the term, but it's a video blog. So please feel free to comment in the usual way. Details are on screen, and you can comment on the blog which you used to, because we've got this up as a link there. So over to you.